up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yeah.
The world is wide. Let's make it closer. With smart planning and a touch of magic, Ash knows travel. Welcome to the future of travel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthrough, and advisor tips to help travel advisors book smarter and build confidence. And tonight's training is all about how to run your travel agent business successfully. We're going to talk about systems, habits, and workflows that will just help you stay organized, consistent, and confident as you grow your business. And I have a special roadmap for you to take with you tonight so you'll know exactly the steps that you need to take. And then this training is all about building a business that actually works for you and not just booking trips, but managing your time, your clients, and your follow-up in a way that sets you up for long-term success. So if you are live here, you should already know the drill. Make sure you go ahead and comment hello in the chat so that I know that you're with me. And if you happen to be catching this on a replay, go ahead and still comment replay so that I know that you stopped by. And of course, before we get started, I want to go ahead and just do a quick reminder for you. On Thursday, I have a really good training coming up called Getting Leads from Agent Universe on their profiler. I'm going to go in there and show you exactly how to fill it out, how to get it set up, and then the next step you need to take to get it published. So make sure you hop on with me so you guys can learn how to get leads locally from Agent Universe on Thursday at 5 p.m. PST. You already know, at Ash Knows Travel YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and dive in, shall we, and get started on how to run your travel agent business successfully. So, how excited are you guys? How excited are you guys for tonight? I feel like this is probably one of the trainings that are going to put everything together for you guys. Whether you're brand new or whether you are a seasoned agent, either way, this can kind of help put things in order, so you can make sure that 2026 is very prosperous and just very goal setting and very oriented to what you're trying to actually achieve. Now, before I start that, though, I just want to do a special thank you to everyone that was at the Evo party this weekend in LA. I had an absolute blast. It was probably one of the most coolest trips that I've ever been on in Evo history. And I was so blessed and honored to be there. And I just want to thank you all for showing me so much love this weekend. It's hard to see the impact that I do here because I'm doing everything from home. But when I show up in person, you guys never disappoint me. You guys you honestly amaze me because you all just pour so much love into me, and it makes it very easy for me to pour back love into you guys because of how much you show. So I really, really appreciate all of you and all of you that show up for my trainings and just support me. You guys are the reason I'm here. You guys are the reason that I'm partially successful when it comes to monetization on this channel. So I just really appreciate the support, and I hope that all of my trainings help you guys just be more successful than you've ever imagined. So let's talk about success, shall we? Let's dive in. Now, before you start anything inside your travel agent business, the biggest thing that you need to set in place is why you are here. I can tell you right now, if you do not have a purpose for this business, it will not be successful. You have to have a reason and a why in order for it to work. Now, everybody's reasons and whys might be different, and you can feel free to comment yours. Mine, honestly, became, at first, I was just kind of looking for something to do that I could do for my house. And then when I realized what I could actually do here, I decided, you know what? I need to actually turn this into like a 6-figure business. Like I need to actually sit down and figure out what I need to put in place. And then I just kind of got all organized. And my why changed, right? And it became more about having a purpose. I wanted to wake up with like a calm heart. I didn't want to wake up with stress or anxiety. I wanted to change my family's dynamic. I wanted to change how we lived our lives. And I really just wanted my kids to have something that they could proudly say about me, right? So I really feel like we all have different whys and they change over time, but some of them could be freedom and flexibility. That's a big one for us. Impact and ownership. That's also huge. Moving from short-term motivation to a long-term vision. And also treat this as a business, not as a side hobby. Whatever your why is, maybe you're looking for something long-term. Maybe you are trying to just do this on the side. Whatever that is, you have to have that why and that purpose, okay? When you actually do things intentionally here, that's what works. And I realized that once I started posting intentionally, I started going viral. Once I started talking to people intentionally, I started getting bookings. Once I started having a purpose for why I was selling that mock booking or what my actual goal was for it, and I just wasn't posting it because I needed to post something, that's when I got engagement, right? You have to have intentions and you have to have your why. Now, continuing with that thought, you also have to sit down and realize your value and your worth as a travel agent. A lot of us will get our first clients and they'll be like, oh, well, they didn't book with us because they found it a little bit cheaper, right? Okay, but what was the value of what you were offering them? They may have found it a little bit cheaper, but it probably has a 12-hour flight with a 2-hour layover, right? Like you have to really position yourself and find your value within being a travel agent before you can sell it to somebody else. We do not take orders when we are travel advisors. And what I mean by orders, I mean, we don't go, okay, you just need a booking. Let me just book it for you, right? Let me just take care of it. No, we have to be trusted advisors. Let me handle this entire thing for you. I'm not just booking your trip. I'm helping you with your trip, right? So with that, you have to realize what kind of value and worth that you can provide to a client. So that way you can properly sell yourself to every person that you meet. Now, in that, what we're trying to do is providing what algorithms can't, right? Because people can go and book trips on Expedia. They can go book wherever. They can book directly. But what makes you different that they should work with you? You have to learn this in order to be able to sell what you are actually selling, whether it's all-inclusives. How can you help them with that all-inclusive, okay? Now, providing what algorithms can't. You can save them time. You can have that expertise because that's what you book. You have the insider access. Sometimes we have the deals, right? And then we have the ability to be client advocates. Now, this one, I didn't really understand at first, but now that I'm like, I don't know, 15 to 20 group bookings in, I am a client advocate. I advocate when my clients need help making a decision. I advocate when my clients are going back and forth with their friends on what they want to do. I advocate when my client wants to try a new destination, but I know it's not safe or it's not what they're looking for. Or the other day, I had a client that's going to Cancun next weekend. She's like, how do I get through the city? I don't know nothing about it. Well, we all should know from Cancun, they have a little red bus. You hop on there, it's $1, right? Like that kind of stuff is what we provide. And that's why they book with us. That's what makes us different from Expedia because they don't get that kind of expertise. Once you are able to realize all of the value you have in yourself, you can sell it. Now, I want you to take that and I want you to dig a little bit deeper because another problem that a lot of travel agents have in the beginning is that they don't see the value in the program, so they don't use all of the tools. And I feel like that's something we really, really miss in the beginning. Now, a lot of times you all will hear other people say, oh, Ash is a great presenter. Oh, Ash can present, the business, right? Okay, now I agree with that, but there's a reason behind that. It's because I know the value of this business. You guys get an entire business in a box, and I mean the entire business, all the way from you even have your errors and omissions liability insurance. You have your website that automatically comes like an affiliate link, right? You have affiliate links. You have vendor access. Once you start realizing everything that you have in it, you're able to sell it better and you're able to have a better client experience because you realize you have everything you need in one setting. Okay. There's a lot of value that comes from being a travel agent, and also a value in everything that you have inside of your box to run your business. So that is the second part of it. Okay. You have to have your why, and you have to know your value and your worth in order to be successful and to be able to run your travel agent successfully. Next one. This one's big. Okay. Now, before I read any of this, I want you to understand that there's no wrong answer in this part, okay? But there has to be an intentional answer. So, this is actually going to affect how you grow. A lot of people will join this business and they actually want to live the lifestyle of being a travel agent. That is perfectly fine. Some people, like me, join this business and they want to grow rapidly and they want to team build and they want to book lots of travel, or they just want to grow their clientele to a max roof. Okay. Whatever that is, you have to make a decision on this. And I mean this like seriously. And let me explain why. Okay. If I have the growth mentality, but I have a lifestyle system, they won't work. So you have to have a growth system to be successful in growing. And I mean like business and all, like clients, whatever you want to do, you have to have that mindset in a system. They do not mix well together. So you have to actually be intentional. Do I want to just live the lifestyle and the perks of being a travel advisor and book travel occasionally? Just using it more, and I like kind of learn as I grow. I want to go to the slow pace. Okay, that's perfectly fine. All right. But you can't scale this way. You're just going to have the perks. If this is what you're doing, you might grow a little bit, but you won't be as successful, right? That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Some people want to do that. It's only $49 a month, right? Okay, fine. I paid $49. I got insider access. If you're cool with that, that's great. But for those who are listening and they want to go to the growth side, you can't have lifestyle systems and try to grow. You can't have that. I had to learn that within probably the first year. I was trying to grow, and it wouldn't work. And I would get so frustrated. Comment if that's you, because a lot of you will come to me and be like, it's not working. It's not working because you have a lifestyle system and you're trying to grow. That's it. That's why. Okay. Clarity before complexity. You have to build a foundation in order to grow. Let's talk about the Evo party, okay? David McCovey himself has grown this business, right, along with all of us, but he has grown this in 10 years. He would have never been able to grow this business if he had a lifestyle system, right? If he had a lifestyle, I'm going to go chill, no, if I don't put in the work, is it going to grow? No. And that's my point. Okay. So depending on what you want to do with this, either one is fine, but make sure you have the right systems in place. And I'm going to cover this tonight. I'm going to cover the systems. Okay. You have to be very intentional about this, and you have to be very clear on what your goals are when it comes to this, because this is going to decide how you operate. All right. Next one. Another big thing. Now that we decided whether it's lifestyle, we have our worth, we have our value, we have our goals in mind, okay, what we're trying to do here. Now we have to decide on what we're going to sell in order to be successful. That is the next part, okay? Now, a lot of you guys get niches wrong, and I actually am going to do a full niche training this month about how to completely niche down so you guys stop running into this problem. But when you guys hear the word niche, you automatically think I'm trying to cage you into something. You're like, oh, but that means I only can talk about that. Why is that a problem? What is that an issue? Yes, you can only talk about that, but that doesn't mean that's all you can book, okay? I want you to take that mindset and get rid of it. I need you to understand that a niche is not a cage, it's a megaphone. That's exactly what it is. This is your niche, okay? And this gives you the ability to focus on a few people, right? But serving everyone means connecting with no one. So if I'm just here, this is me on an algorithm. I'm just posting and I have no direct audience. I have no example of what I'm really talking about. I'm just hitting everyone, but I'm not going to connect with them because I'm not relating to them at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. A niche gives you an alignment for your passion. It gives you a market demand. It gives you an audience and a business to be able to sustain. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, let me give you an example. I don't know, Nike. Okay. They sell shoes, they sell running stuff, workout. I don't really go into Nike. I don't know. They sell workout stuff. Okay. I'm more of an Adidas girl. We'll go with Adidas. They do that too. Right. Now, imagine if Adidas tomorrow came out and was like, I'm going to start selling travel. They're going to be like, what? Like, that's not your brand. That's not your focus. Why are you doing that? Okay. That's what I'm telling you guys. A lot of you guys will do stuff like this. And I'm not saying that your algorithms have to be travel, 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 right? But make sure that no matter what you're posting serves a purpose. It is intentional when you're posting, and it has a direct audience that you're trying to hit. That's how you get engagement. And you're wondering, how do I know this? Well, I could tell you because I'm monetized on YouTube and I'm getting there on TikTok, but my TikToks do well. Why do they do well? Because I'm talking to the same people over and over and over. And the algorithm goes, oh, okay, she's still talking to them. Let's send her back over there. Oh, you know what? She's doing it really well. Let's open her up to a bigger reach. Like, that is how it grows. Okay. You have to niche down. It doesn't mean that's all you have to sell. I'm telling you right now, I have a group cruise going. Actually, they're on their group cruise. They left on Sunday. They'll be gone this whole week. Okay. I have another group all inclusive that's happening next weekend. I don't promote groups like that. That's not what I'm promoting, but people still book with me and they book whatever I need to book while I'm able to focus. Okay. Now, with this niche, there are different types. What I'm trying to say is that you don't have to just necessarily focus on one type if that's what you're worried about. A lot of people are like, well, I don't want to focus just on cruises. Okay, that's fine. Focus on the traveler type then. Why don't you do family, all inclusive in cruises, or couples only, all inclusive in cruises? Like, there's several different ways you can spin it. So if you find yourself too far deep in a box, expand the box, okay? You can do that with destinations. You could do that with traveler types. Maybe you want to sell different types of travel, but you need to have a specific audience with it. That's fine. That's still niching down. Okay. And then you can even do trip styles. Like, my trip styles is adults only. This is where my niche is. My niche lies. Oh, okay, fine. My niche lies right here. Okay. Your niche might lie in one of these, and that's okay. But what I need you to have is a focus so that you can build that demand and build that need, because you're focusing and posting on the same thing every single time. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean post the same content every time. Of course, we're going to talk about all different parts of it, but it still has that same consistent message of, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm talking about, and this is who I'm trying to reach. Okay. And then you do that. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram goes, oh, okay, that's what she's doing. All right, let's keep talking. Oh, she's doing it again. Okay, now let's get her out here, right? That's how they learn you. Now, once you establish your niche, okay, now we need to move on. Now we need to start actually setting up the foundation of our business. Okay, so these are the basics. What I've just covered, that is beginner, normally new agent type of information, right? We got the why, we've got the value, we've decided how we want to actually operate, so we know what systems we want to use, and now we have a niche. That is the basics of new agent orientation in phase 2. Can we all agree with that? Okay. If you don't have these up, you can't build a foundation. You cannot run your travel agent successfully if you don't know why you're here. If you don't know who you want to talk to, you can't. Okay. So even if you're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, it's okay to take time to develop this, but at some point you need to have this developed in order to grow inside of your business. Whether you want the lifestyle or the growth side, it doesn't matter. You have to still have this, or you will no longer see the ability to run successfully because you've lost that vision, you've lost that purpose, you've lost that niche. Always have these 4 things in place in order to run a successful travel agent business. Now, following that, the 4 cornerstones of your business foundation, okay? When you have those 4 things aligned, now you can build the cornerstones. Now we're going to actually build that foundation. What needs to be built inside of the foundation in order for this to work? First thing that we have to be very clear about is what we offer and the services that we provide. A lot of you guys might offer different services. Maybe you guys are into booking a whole entire Italy trip. Okay, if that's what you want to offer, then you need to be very intentional about that's what I do, right? Firm boundaries and expectations. Now we're going to kind of break these down as we go, but you need to make sure that you know exactly what you expect from the clients and what the clients expect from you, okay? Professional communication standards. This one is a big one. A lot of you guys can kind of hurt yourself because you don't speak professionally, you don't post professionally. You might be, just posting off things. That can kind of hurt you too. So you got to make sure you have that cornerstone in place. And then lastly, a commitment to consistency and not perfection. That means that you have to show up regardless. I don't care if it's perfect. We can make it perfect later, but I still need you to show up every single time. And that's something that people miss a lot when it comes to being a travel agent, is that they realize, oh, it's not perfect. Okay, I don't want to do it. They will talk themselves out of posting because they're afraid to post. You can't do that. I need you to post regardless. Now, it has to be intentional. It has to have a clear service. It has to have expectations and a boundary and professional communication standards, right? But it has to be consistent. All of these kind of go in hand. You have to have all four of these in order to be successful. Now, let's talk about how we do that, okay? The first part of that is going to be systems. You can build a system that has clear services and offerings, right? That's your inquiry form. You can build a system that has firm boundaries and expectations. Do you know what this is? This is basically like an itinerary. This could be your quote. That's basically what that is, right? Professional communication standards. This is your follow-up and your onboarding system. And then the commitment to consistency. This is, I'm going to help you. You actually follow through with helping them and you close the booking. Now, it might not be perfect, but at least you showed up and did the entire process. And that's why they book with you. Okay. That's what we're going to be covering, but we're going to be breaking it down a little more. So systems are how you protect your time and scale your impact. I did not learn about systems in my first year, and I struggled very deeply with this. I felt like I was always all over the place. If you feel like you were all over the place, then you do not have a system. And I had a mentor tell me that one time, and I was like, I'm in order. Like, what are you talking about? And then I sat down one day and I was so overwhelmed, and I was like, oh, you're right. I don't have a system. I thought I had a system, but I actually don't have a system. So we're going to talk about that. But when you don't have a system, okay, you rely completely on memory, and that is not a system. Systems reduce burnout and decision fatigue. How many of us are tired of making decisions? I feel like all of us hate making decisions. I hate making decisions, right? I feel like all day, since the moment I wake up, I have to make a decision on something, okay? We have to have a system in place, or you are going to drive yourself mad crazy by trying to make all of these decisions at once, okay? This way, you can create growth without having all of that chaos of trying to remember everything you want to do. Now, the system itself, okay, is basically like an operating system, and it all focuses on one main thing. Now, I will tell you, in my operating system, okay, I have a command center. I will cover that. But inside of the core business operating system, you need all of these functionalities in order to be successful. You have to have your inquiry intake form. You have to have proper communication set up with your clients. And I mean like the emails. How many of you guys have attended my onboarding and my follow-up trainings? Okay. Those emails help turn repeat clients. That's why they book with you. They need that connection. Client communication will build the connection every single time. Booking and documentation. You have to have a system for that. You have to have a way to keep up with it. You have to have organization, right? Following the trip, you need to be able to follow up with your clients so they can book with you again. And top of that, you need to have task and workflow management so you're not overwhelming yourself with too many tasks. I will always do a system of every night before I go to bed, I write down 3 things that I must complete every day. And I've got that from some leader, and I'm not sure which one. Maybe Courtney Palladino, I think. I think that was Courtney Palladino. She might have got it from Charles Lee. I'm not sure. But every night before I go to bed, I write down 3 things on the top of my notes that I have to complete no matter what. That way, I know exactly where I need to put my time each day. Okay? And then lastly, of the operating system, you have to have content and marketing, because if you don't have content and marketing, how are they going to know what you're doing? That's just a function of it, right? This is the core operating system. Now, the roadmap that I have for you tonight is going to have all of this broken down. So make sure you stay to the end and comment when it's time so you can get the actual roadmap and go in and do like a checklist. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. You know, my documents are better than my training sometimes. Okay. So make sure you stay for that document, but we're going to continue. Okay. Now, the command center. So with this operating system, I think I have a training this month about my command center. I think it's at the end of the month, to be honest with you. But with this operating system, it has to be focused around like a core, right? Okay, so this core, what this is all based off of my core. My core right here is my command center. That is the place to run your business. Okay. Inside my command center, I have all of my clients, all of the tasks, all of the follow ups, my leads, and even my content is in there too. The reason I put my content in there is because if something really works, I need to know how to replicate it and I need to write it down so I can remember I need to replicate that over and over. Okay. But this is all actually done for me inside of my Google Sheets. I have an entire Google Sheets locked down with everything. I have all my clients, which helps me follow up with the tasks that I need to complete with them, whether it's completing payments, I'm waiting on commission. The commission's been paid out. I keep up with it all in there, following with the follow up so that I create repeat business, which also brings in the leads. You see how this all works together? Look, it's even built like a little funnel here. It all correlates together. So I have all of that in one place, and it's very easy for me to keep up with it, and it's free. Now, they do have fancy CRM systems that you can do this with. I don't care how you do it, but what I need you to have is a command center so you have a place to run your business. Okay. Now, scattered tools create stress. That centralization that is completed inside that command center is what creates the control. You have to have control over your business. In order for it to fit your life, you have to be in control of it. Okay. Now, you can manage everything from one central hub. So, if you want to learn how to do that, hop on my training at the end of the month. I'll show you exactly. But you can easily build one of these simply through Google Sheets just so you can start maintaining everything. Okay. Now, the first part of that one was the inquiry form, right? So your inquiry form is very, very important because that is honestly their first impression with you. So you have to have a very good flow that follows after they first see you, right? We have the inquiry, which leads to acknowledging, hey, I got your inquiry request. That sounds great. Let me get some more further questions from you. Okay, perfect. I know exactly what you want. Here's my proposal. Okay. This has to be a very seamless, organized process, or you're going to lose clients every single time. So, what happens the moment someone reaches out? Response timing sets the tone. A repeatable intake process prevents missed opportunities. I suggest doing jot form here. That way, you automatically have the acknowledgement because they send out the email automatically saying, hey, I got your quote form. Thank you so much. Right? Then you can go in there, you can message them. I text them about 30 minutes after I get an inquiry form. I send them a text. Hey, I got your message. I'll follow up with you. If I have questions, I ask it in there. And if not, I'll have your quote within 72 hours. There's a proposal. All right. This is a very important structure. If you do not have this, you will not get a booking because they get lost right about here. Right here, they're waiting for the quote. You guys don't give it. You guys don't say anything. They're no longer interested. That part right there. Okay. Now, with that, the entire goal here is the client experience. Okay. You have to have a top notch client experience in order for a client to be able to return back to business with you. Okay. So we support them before the travel, during the travel, and after the travel. A lot of us skip this. So I like to cover it on how to run your business successfully because a lot of us will get this part probably the best. We get this part built really well, right? We support them a little bit during the travel. We check in, how are you doing? How are things going? And then we drop off right about here. Can we say that? Yeah, I see it. I know. Okay. The idea is, though, this should be a streamless process that's kind of like a circle, actually. After the travel, follow up, feedback. All right, now you're ready to book again. When are you booking again? Let me follow up with you, and then we start over again, okay? This is the initial part right here that makes you successful. If you have a systemized client experience, you will have repeat clients. If you mess up before travel, they won't book with you again. If you don't check on them during travel, they won't book with you again. If you don't ever follow up with them after they already returned, they're not going to book with you again until maybe they feel the need to reach out, right? This is all centralized. And with this, you can't do a client experience without having all of that too. Do you see, guys, how it's all running into place, right? I set the foundation of why I'm here, what I'm trying to do. Now I need to get an organization of how I want to talk to my clients. Now, I can't be organized if I don't have a command center or systems follow up. If I don't, I'm going to have to run around and try doing all of this on my own. That's impossible to do, right? So we have the inquiry. That this inquiry right here is actually going to be the entire process. It's exactly like this inquiry flow is exactly like this, honestly. Before the travel, during, and after, okay? If we get that set up with the inquiry, okay, we got them booked. All right, now they're during travel. We have to make sure that we're talking to them all the way through this process, or we lose them as clients. Now, I explained the entire client experience for a specific reason, because a lot of you guys think, all right, I did the booking. All right, we're good. We did it. No, the booking is actually the start of the process. You think that qualification is there, so you drop off, but no, the booking is actually the start, not the end. The follow through is the actual business part. So let me explain, okay? We can walk around and start booking a bunch of trips. That's great. But if they don't book with us again, that's a lost lead. That's just a one-time booking. We don't want one-time bookings. We want multiple bookings, right? It is easier to pull a booking from somebody who's already traveled with you than it is to constantly run around getting new clients. So this is where most of the agents drop the ball. Systematic follow-up, which is exactly what I'm teaching you right here, right? That follow-up that converts it back to a lead, so it brings it back down to a task. Now we have to do a booking. It's all a system in here, okay? If you don't have that follow through, you do not build the loyalty. This is the bridge that carries it through. If you do not follow up with them, if you do not take care of them, if you don't actually go all the way through the travel and after, that's it. They're done, okay? A systematic follow-up is what creates a successful business. It creates loyalty, which turns into referrals, and it turns into repeat bookings, okay? You can do this and stay visible without being pushy. I show you guys in my follow-up system, that my training that I have. You could just go on my YouTube channel and type in follow-up system. It'll populate, okay? I tell you, all right, send an email 3 days after, 7 days or whatever, like how I have it set up. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I have it to where you guys can set up and boomerang where you follow up naturally, so it's not pushy and you don't even have to remember to do it. Put it in boomerang, set it up, ChatGPT, do it, set up once, make a template, do it every time, right? Let your systems ensure that nothing is forgotten. The more you start relying on systems, the better your business will run. All right? Speaking of system, one of an entire system is marketing. Can we agree that 90% of what we do as a travel agent is marketing, right? Marketing should feel like a constructive system, not a lottery. If you are running around and you're like, I don't know what to post, what am I doing? Okay, if you have that, you have this right now. This is chaos. Can we agree with that, right? You need to have an entire system in place. Now, I do have a lot of trainings on that. I call it my 3-post system. That 3-post system is very effective. But with that, regardless of how you decide to aim for, whether you're trying to be like a big viral person or you're just trying to get it in place, no matter what you're trying to do, the biggest thing that you have to have with marketing is consistency, okay? Your content should support your business systems. So if I have a system for getting clients, right, I need to make sure that my content supports that. If I'm trying to team build, for example, because we can also do that here as well, I need to have a system that supports my team building, and I need to produce content that will support that as well. Like, no matter how you market, you have to have a sustainability system. Let me explain why, okay? Because that sounds like a bunch of gibberish, but let me explain exactly what I'm trying to tell you, okay? If I am out here producing content, all right, cool. Like, let's go to my TikTok right here, okay? Let me pull up my TikTok. A little off course, but that's okay. Travel with Ash. Okay, so I have this one post that drives me bananas because it always goes viral over and over again. Right here, okay? This is it. So this one's like at over like 138,000 views, and it populates all the time. So it'll go viral over and over, okay? And that's fine. But I have a system here. Do we see this? Do you see the responses? Okay. This is a system that I have. Okay. Now, I just sent you a DM. I sent you a DM, right? As I'm replying to the DMs, what's happening? This is a system. Okay. So I posted the content. That's the first part of the system. Now they're inquiring. All right. So I just booked. Actually, I'm just replying to them slowly because there's like over 80 of them. They drive me, oh, it's a little overwhelming, right? Now, I'm not going to complain. I'm happy, but it's a lot. I have to have a system in order for this to work. Okay. So the first part of my system is posting the content. The second part of it is the engagement. The third part of it is me replying to them. I send them a DM. Okay. Now, once I send them that DM, they have the link where they go and do the inquiry. What is that? Another system. Do you guys see how this works? Right? So now they have the inquiry form. They do the inquiry. What's the next part of my system? I qualify them. All right, cool. This is what you want to do. This is where you want to go. This is exactly what you're looking for, your budget. Cool. I got you. What's the next part of the system? The proposal. Now I propose my quote. All right, cool. They want to book it. What do? I'm communicating. I'm following up with them. All right. Oh, here's your inquiry. Do you like it? Do you have questions? A couple of days. They don't say nothing. I follow back up, right? There's my system for that one. Now, following that, we did the booking. Okay, that's just a start. That now I got that done. And I did all of that just by posting this content. It's a system every single time. And I have to be consistent with it every single time. If I don't answer these bookings that they're here, okay, it's a waste of content. It's a waste. Don't let yourself get wasted in content because you don't have a system to follow up with what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to say. If you want content like this to produce like this, you have to have systems in place. Everybody around me, how did you do that? How did you do that? I have a system in place. How did I get monetized on YouTube? How did I become a YouTuber? Okay. That's one of the questions I get all the time. I have a system in place because I'm consistently showing up. That's how I got monetized. You can take that same exact thing and do it with travel, but you have to be consistent and you have to have a system. Okay. Now I'm going to stop preaching. Continuing. We're almost done. All right. Your systems are your boundaries, and that's what keeps you consistent. It protects your most valuable assets. You guys always say, money is my most valuable asset. No, it is not. Your most valuable asset is your time and what you do with your energy. If you waste a bunch of energy and time on the wrong stuff, you will never be successful. That's just bottom line. Okay. Automate where possible. I used to be a big person. I'm like, oh, you can't automate everything. Okay, maybe not. But where you need to automate, if you find yourself stressed out about something, you need to figure out a way to automate it. If it's something that's driving you crazy, you need to plan in advance and you need to automate it. All right. Remember, not every notification requires a personal, immediate response. This is a big boundary too. In order to have a successful business, whether you want to do lifestyle version or if you want to do growth version, whatever that works for you, you have to have certain boundaries in place. Boundaries for when you want to work, boundaries for the tasks that you want to complete, the systems you set up, and the response times and the way you respond. These are all boundaries that you need to have in place, okay? I will tell you right now, I have people message me all the time, especially on the unfiltered travel page. I respond to them when I have the availability. I don't take on more inquiries until I'm ready to take on more, because if I do too many, my system will fail, right? The system is in place because it has structure. If I go past that structure, it doesn't work. So I take in, all right, here's the next 50 or whatever that is on that page. And then I go in there. Now, are they all going to inquire? Not really. Sometimes there's quite a few, and then other times it's a little drastic, and it depends on how quick I respond, right? But it's important that I set that boundary not to overwhelm myself, because I know I can get overwhelmed. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you get overwhelmed in something, set a boundary, okay? Systems in that are going to help create that freedom that you started this business for. Now, I will tell you, when it comes to those systems, that's what helps kind of to set those boundaries. That will help you get that time and freedom and that energy that you're craving. And it will even let you adapt to the lifestyle size of that business because you have a system in place. Like, for example, I went away this weekend, right? And I got 6 inquiries while I was away. When I sat down on Monday, I put them all together and I had it systemed out, right? If I didn't have my inquiry form in place, I would not have been able to get inquiries, right? If I didn't have my content scheduled in the system that I've created, I wouldn't be able to get inquiries at all. Like, it all has to function back to a system. Okay. Now, I'm done preaching for tonight, but what I'm trying to get to you is that you all have the ability to be successful with this opportunity. You're just not operating it correctly. Okay. What real success looks and feels like. It should look like organization. It should be predictable. It should be confident, and it should have a lot of trust behind it with a lot of sustainability set in place. Okay. You have to have all of that set up. Now, I'm not asking you to have it all set up today. I just want you to have a clear purpose and a clear intention of what you need to do in order to be successful here. Okay. Now, let me show you that fancy guide, shall I? While I'm showing you the fancy guide of everything that I covered for tonight, I need you to comment roadmap for me to help. Of course, we have an engagement deal, right? This is our deal. You comment roadmap, and I'm going to give you some really cool stuff. Even if you're watching the replay, I still want you to comment roadmap so that I am able to go in and comment underneath and give you the post. Okay? So let me show you it. It's pretty cool. I can't lie. Ooh, my nose itches. All right. So, how to run your travel agent business successfully. Look, your why, your understanding, and it gives you little check boxes too. When you understand your value, your communication improves. Everything that I've went over, it's basically like an entire little checkbox here. Yeah? This way you have a clear intention. This is really good for us to do at the beginning of the year so you know exactly what your goal is. You know exactly how your systems are set up so you can actually flow and operate like a 6-figure business that I'm sure we're all trying to build, right? So this is for you, okay? Comment roadmap for me so I can send it to you, and I will copy it real quick, okay? Now, with that, give me 1 second. Let me go over to my studio real quick, and I will post it in the chat for you. All right, you guys. Yeah, you guys should have it now. Okay, so this is great for you guys. I will tell you that when you need to edit it, if you want to check off the boxes, when you get this, watch me. Okay, you hit file and then you hit make a copy. You can edit it. Do not request to edit mine because I will deny you and I'll tell you to make a copy of it. So file, make a copy, okay? And then you can go in there and just click it all. All right? So yay on that one. Let's finish up real quick, okay? Now, in closing, what I'm trying to tell you is you don't need more tools. You don't need more of this. You need more of that. You don't need any of that, okay? You just need to set up an operating system. And that is probably one of the best ways that you can run your travel agent business successfully, all right? That operating system is going to help you set up clarity, that structure, and that follow through. You have to sit down. Now, this is the biggest thing I'm going to leave you with right here. Okay. A lot of us, even if we're not new, if you find yourself 6, 7, 8 months in and you're struggling to find clients, you're struggling with this or struggling with that, you need to sit down and think about where you're struggling. Okay. Then I want you to go back and build your business. You have to build this foundation that I've covered. It has to be built first, okay? Once you build it, you're going to notice it start growing. That's exactly what happened to me. I was like, oh, I'm not getting clients. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. I sat down and I found the weakest point. I was getting clients, actually. I just wasn't following up with them. Or I was getting inquiries, but I didn't set up this. Like there were so many missing little potholes inside of my little inquiry flow, inside of my follow-ups, inside of my return clients. Like I wasted a lot of leads in the beginning because I felt like I wasn't getting enough clients. No, I just wasn't doing what I was supposed to do with them, right? But once I sat down, I set up my operating system, I set up the command center, I set up all of this stuff, right? I grew. And that's why you see all of this, okay? So everyone that I have here that you guys see, let's just click on one of these here, okay? Let's see. I have one in here. All of these here, whatever you see in here, okay? All of these that you're seeing, that's like, oh, these are all these major things that we're getting, right? The reason that this stuff is happening, the reason that I have that engagement is because I've built the system that follows up with it. You can't get to that level until you build your systems, okay? So your systems, what I'm trying to say is what support your success, and that's why I'm able to do that, all right? So I hope this has inspired you. I hope that it has helped you and kind of gain that clarity so you can build your own foundation and you can go and start being more successful than you already are. I want to thank you guys so much for showing up. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them in the chat box in the live chat so I can respond to you. But I see that you are here and I want to congratulate you on that. And I hope that you now have the structure that you need in order to run your travel agent business more successfully. So I will see you in the chat. And if not, I will see you on Thursday at 5 p.m. PST, where we're going to go over Agent Universe. Okay, we're building another part of our system here. Where's our system? There's our system. This is where we're building. Okay, I talk about all of these in my trainings. Everything that I train on is going to follow line somewhere around here. Yes, can we agree? On Thursday, we're going to touch on leads so we can start building our task, which builds the follow-up, clientele, all of that. All right. So I will see you on Thursday at 5 p.m. PST to talk about Agent Profiler, and I'll see you in the chat now so I can answer any of your questions. Thank you so much for hopping on, and I hope you all have a beautiful night. Yes.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo.